Thousands of people around the country are making the choice to live smaller, tiny in fact, in about 400 square feet or less.
Now, that includes in Asheville, where the cost of living is growing more expensive each year and the space to build homes is shrinking.
Tonight in a special report, News 13's Hope Hanselman shows us the local tiny homes movement as well as the obstacles it faces.
I'll live in this thing for a while.
All the research in the world couldn't have prepared Ruby Beck for this undertaking.
Oh, you know, once I started it, there's no going back.
6 long months have turned a senior project into reality.
Overall, I think that we fared pretty well.
And sent one nail through a finger.
But it's worth it.
I didn't know what I was capable of completely, but I just kind of went for it. I guess that's the only way to do some things.
So far, Ruby and her boyfriend Landon have laid their foundation on 144 square feet.
This is big enough for me.
At 22 years old and fresh off a college degree, Ruby will never cut a rent check, never default on a mortgage payment.
All right.
The tiny house movement goes back to a simpler time.
This is a dangerous stair.
Larry Vickers is a self-proclaimed compulsive builder.
For years I was a house designer.
He's built homes of all shapes and sizes, but one stands out.
You guys don't know about the 70s, but in the 70s we thought it was the end of time. We thought that the whole culture was going to come crashing down.
Larry built his first tiny home in 1974. It measured just 10 feet by 14 and sold for a whopping $700.
That's the happy owner, and that's the happy builder.
That still remains the most successful home he ever built.
Not successful for any other reason. She lived in it happily for 20 years and changed her life, and then it freed her.
Freedom. It lived in a tiny house in the woods. Now, more than 40 years later, it's moving back in.
We protested the war and disengaged from society. Now people are protesting the wars that we're in, disengaging from society, going out into tiny houses and asserting their freedom. And that's what, that's what it's about for us. Thank you for coming.
The father and son team of Wishbone Tiny Homes in West Asheville helps others make it happen.
It's growing extremely fast.
Just one problem, most are illegal.
It's confusing because it's a home, but it's an RV. It's somewhere in between.
Most building codes won't allow homes to be smaller than about 300 square feet. That's why folks turn to building on wheels. But most municipalities won't allow you to live in what's considered an RV.
The wheels gets you around some hurdles, but ultimately you still have to find a place to put it once you're done with it, and that's the real challenge.
Space will indeed be Ruby's next obstacle,
Yeah,
like everything else she's learned along the way.
I've always been looking way too far ahead, and so this project has been a test for me to just live in the moment.
It's actually much harder than it looks.
This summer, she'll move in.
Yeah.
After $14,000, nearly a year's worth of work and some perspective gained.
This is my favorite window.
Of just how big tiny can be.
It's really exciting.
Hope Hanselman, News 13.
Nice view.
Quite interesting.
Yeah.
Well, a group of people in Asheville known as the Small Home Advocacy Committee, or SHAC, is working to make policy changes in the city.
Now, those changes would allow more people to legally live in those tiny homes. The group says they're already making progress.